Hello and welcome to a brand new walkthrough video. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, the summer seems so long ago. Something new in very many ways. We're going to be doing a walkthrough of a new Kontakt sample library that I've done. Plus, I'm in my brand new studio. I've moved from London. I'm now living in leafy Oxford, and it's great. I've got a huge space just for me in my studio, and I'm so happy. It's great. So hopefully, no sound from pizza restaurants or people shouting generally and delivery trucks reversing, all that sort of nonsense. The only noises we should hear today are the birds and the wind in the trees. Well, actually probably not that because I've got the window shut. Anyway, wandering off the point slightly. Plus, I've got a brand new mic stand, brand new K&N mic stand, which is a huge unit, but it means that the microphone is now sitting above my head and no longer resting on a box on the desk so that you hear all the thudding when I hit keys. I mean, little tippy-tappy noises, but none of that thud, hopefully. We'll see if it's better. We don't know. I haven't treated my studio yet, so it might not be that much better. Anyway, Drumstruck 4. This is what we're here for. So if you've purchased or used one of the previous Drumstruck libraries, you'll know roughly what the series is about. It's just little electronic cinematic drum loops done in Kontakt, so you can just play with them on the fly and add them to your tracks for fun. Now, previously, they've just been little things that I've taken out of older projects and tweaked and what have you. But this Drumstruck 4, this is much bigger. This is all built from the ground up, purposely for this library. And there's lots more content. Instead of there being just like 50 loops, there's now over 200 samples in this. There's 7 MKI files. It's just a little bit. It's not huge. It's not all encompassing, but it is just. It is bigger than before and hopefully better. Now, as you can see from the GUI here, it's nothing. There's no controls on here. I haven't added any sexy controls. It's simply just hit a key and go like this. Like that. And that's all there is to it, basically, except for what you can do is hit a bunch of keys at the same time and get some really groovy sounds going. Now this particular file, this is called Betamax Beats. The reason it's called that is because I have created these particular loops in digital synths. I've already played that one, let's try something different. So it's all very dark and crunchy and subtle but detailed. And there's really nothing more to it than just pressing keys and off you go. So obviously you can see here the keys are highlighted blue that have a loop on them. So I'll just play through a few more of the ones on here. So a few of these beats have been done on Native Instruments synths. Actually, I think I've used Massive and FM8 on quite a few of these. And then once I've programmed some drum loops in a synth, I've then taken it, I've exported it as a WAV file, then brought it back into Cubase, used some of my favourite plugins like stuff by UAD, FabFilter, Sound Toys, Eventide, Cush Audio. They've got some great stuff. And just twisted them and reworked them until I felt I had something cool. And if I just play a bunch of them all together again, maybe I have come up with something cool. You can decide. So let's slowly take them all out. So that's Betamax Beats. Now let's move on to the next patch, which is Broken Breaks. Now this is me programming break beats, mainly with custom drum sounds that I've either created myself with my drum machine hardware and software, or I think there's a few older recordings of acoustic drums that are added into this one, because you always have a bit of acoustic drums for the old breakbeats. So let's play through a few of these. So nice sort of actiony, chunky breakbeat stuff, but there's a few of the smaller type of sounds in there. The stuff that's really very reminiscent of Harry Gregson Williams' work on things like Phone Booth and Man on Fire. So there you go. Let's play a bunch at the same time and see what we come up with. So lots of dynamics, lots of punch, lots of atmosphere, dark country vibes. There's quite a bit of distortion on these patches. Let's try some more. So there's a lot of fun to be had from layering up patches. That's why it's designed so simply, really. And you can do that, obviously. You can have patches playing from one of the files, like you can have some Betamax Beats sounds going on at the same time. You can load up Broken Breaks and play them all together. Load as many patches as you like up and just play on the fly. I mean, that's the idea. It's just simple to drop them in to your tracks without much work. Okay, so Darker Drums. This is the biggest patch in the library. As you can see here, we've got 90 loops on here. A lot of this has been done with either analog hardware or analog modeling software. So there's stuff like my Electron Rhythm. Is it Rhythm? I don't know. There's quite a bit of Zebra and Bazille in this, I think, as well. But let's just play some sounds. And then again, obviously, everything gets processed through a whole bunch of my favourite software programs. Alright, so you can tell this is Zebra because it's got that sort of slightly ethnic woody vibe that you can get from Zebra. Actually, I seem to be only getting those ones at the moment. There's all the other stuff. So a bit of white noise. A bit of filtering. Deep stuff. So Darker Drums is very much sort of the heartbeat of the library. This is what I started programming first, and then I just sort of got excited adding other bits and pieces on as I was going along. So, right, let's just randomly play a bunch of keys. What do we got here? Let's play 6 loops all at the same time, see what we come up with. So whilst it's quite sort of underscored, when you layer up a bunch of sounds together like this, you can really get some sort of action beats. play some black keys. I don't normally do that. And also, if the loops are designed slightly differently, you can get some interesting syncopation in there when you're doubling them up, because maybe the delays are different or just the sequencing is different. All the time Superstar 4/4, just to keep things again simple. Not that you can't just fiddle around with things and make them not 4/4 by just how you layer them in your tracks, of course. Okay, let's play a bit higher up the octaves and see what's at the top end. So here, the way they're layering up, it kind of gives it a slightly non-4/4 vibe, which is quite cool. That's just through what's being selected, played together. So there's tons of stuff here. With just 90 loops, you can produce so much stuff. Oh, not that one again. Seem to keep playing that one. No, that one. Stop playing that one. That's better. And the cool thing is that you can just pick one loop at random and you can just start kicking off a track with it. It's got the right vibe, you just build around it. Okay, so that's the three main patches in this sound set. Those are the ones that I basically deliberately made. So we'll move on now to the bonus content. So we'll go through it in alphabetical order, even though that doesn't make the most sense. Actually, no, that's not. Let's go with this one. So this is filtered funk. So this is another drum loop section. Not so many drum loops on this one. I think there's only about 15. But these are some extreme filtered loops. These are good for like creating fills or just adding some really interesting filtered rhythmic content to what you're doing. So let's have a play. So the filtering is pretty aggressive. And that essentially means that you can, like I say, use them as a fill or just subtly in the background, just some movement. Right, and let's play a bunch of them together, see what that sounds like. Slightly extreme. Okay, but they're really good. They're really good for sort of bringing up the tension into when you're moving into a sort of more fast-paced or more epic element. So Vox Vortex. This is the final sort of loop section. This is a bit silly, if I'm honest. It's just slightly silly, in that all these loops, and there's, how many are there? 10, 11, 12. 12, isn't it? Because 12 notes in an octave, Matthew. So these are all drum loops that I've made using my mouth. So technically it's beatboxing, but well, you can judge. You can judge. And again, obviously, they've gone through a bunch of processing. Your friends here, or at least what I discovered were my friends, was SBL's transient designer. This is very useful for really bringing out the punch of silly beatboxing. So it's 3 playing together. So it's obviously using the voice, but it's got some fun elements in there, hasn't it? Okay, so sub-slams. Now this is just a collection basically of very deep, very atmospheric analog drum impacts. Or analog style, rather. I'd be lying to say that it's actually analog hardware they've used for this. This is essentially an experiment where I took a bunch of impact sounds I'd created in Zebra and then processed them through Omnisphere, using the effects on Omnisphere, which I thought would be fun. And so there's 25 of them, I believe. And then finally we have a little section called Eclectic Effects, which I've just sort of bunged in there as a bonus. They're just things I had lying around from other projects that I thought would be just fun to add to this. So effectively, if you really, really, really wanted to try, and if you check out, there's a demo track I've written called D4 Improv, which is literally just sounds from Drumstruck 4. So it's obviously it's a percussive cue, but throwing in a few of the effects in there has just added a little extra element. So right at the bottom here, we've got some bass drops. Just 5 of them. And then we've got some, an octave up, we've got reverser sounds. That one's got an impact on it. I mean, it's rare that I actually make this kind of sound myself. Because there are many people who are much better at it than I am, frankly. And then we've got some random little effects a further octave up. Now these effects, and I'm going to play through them all because they're all a bit weird and different. These are actually, again, made with my mouth. That one's more obviously vocal in content, as is that one. I might as well play through them all as it's fine. So they're kind of fun and atmospheric and breathy and weird. That one is particularly weird. Yeah, so that's what we have here. That's Drumstruck 4. So as I say, there's over 200 samples in the various different. Let's get back to Darker Drums. It's my favourite. Actually, no, I love breakbeats. I'm going to finish on breakbeats. Yeah, so over 200 samples instead of I think the previous Drumstruck 1, 2, and 3 had just 50 samples on there. So lots more content. What I'm also going to do this time is there'll be a WAV version of it as well. So if you just want the Kontakt version, you can get that, but there will be a WAV plus Kontakt version as well, which I'll make sure isn't much more expensive than just the Kontakt version, because why would you? I'm a nice guy, you know what I mean? And that's it, essentially. That really is all there is to it. It's simple, but I hope that you'll really appreciate the amount of work that's gone into the drum programming and the sound design involved. It's, it's not a complex library. It's not gigabytes and gigabytes of data, but it's the idea is that it's nicely well designed to just roll straight into your tracks with as little effort as possible, really. And then you can, you want to do other stuff to it, then that's entirely up to you afterwards. As long as you don't try and then sell it. That would be naughty. Okay, so just to finish off, let's have a huge breakbeat where I'm going to play 8 different loops at once because I'm insane. And there we go. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've heard and you'll grab a copy because it's not going to be very expensive. And you'll be using it in your tracks very soon. I know some people who I've asked to beta test it have already been using it on scores and projects, so that's very exciting to know that it's already being used. So happy shopping on my site. Hope you appreciate that the Unfinished is back after is it a month off? It seemed longer than that, but it was technically only a month after the whole summer synth bonanza stuff. So thanks once again, and thanks for your support, and I'll see you very, very soon with a brand new synth sound set. Au revoir!